While the rest of the world was looking elsewhere, something truly historic started happening in the heart of Europe this morning. Budapest is not just a beautiful city anymore or beautiful tourist destination today. It has become the center of geopolitical earthquake in Europe. After 16 years of undisputed rule, Viktor Orban is facing a reality he never thought possible. The polls open at 6 a.m. and what we are seeing is not just a regular election. It's a massive mobilization of nations that seems tired of the old status quo. In just the first 5 hours, we saw a record turnout of nearly 38%. To put that in perspective, it is 12% increase compared to 4 years ago. This is a definition of high-stake gamble for the future of the European Union, the entire Western alliance. But while Hungarians are lining up to cast their ballots, the border to the east remains a zone of broken promises. We were told there would be a threat for Orthodox Easter, a time for peace, and time for reflection, for families, for celebration. Instead, we're looking at thousands of reported violations from the Sumy region to the Donetsk front. The silence of the holiday was replaced by the hum of drums and the reports of kinetic events. It feels like the old world is desperately trying to hold on to its power, while a new, unpredictable era is forcing its way through the door. I'm here to guide you through these hidden layers of global shifts. I'm Blondie Way, and today we're going to dissect the fact that the mainstream media might not overlooking. We will analyze why a former government insider turned into Orban's worst nightmare, and how a pop icon's Justin Bieber returning California reflects our collective craving for the past. This is expert analysis without the noise. If you value deep insights and calm, factual reporting, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel right now. Your support allows me to keep digging into the story that actually matter. Let's get into the details of Hungarian gambit right now. To understand why today is so critical, we need to talk and look at the man who is shaking the very foundation of the Hungarian political system. Peter Magyar was not only an outsider, he was a quintessential part of the inner circle of former government insider who saw the machinery from the inside for years. He sudden shift in the creation of Tisza party just 2 years ago, a strategic move that caught the ruling Fidesz party completely off guard. Magyar is not a typical liberal opposition leader. He is a center-right conservative who speaks the same language as Orban's core voters, but without the baggage of 16 years in power. He has effectively framed this election as a referendum on the country's soul. The numbers we're seeing today are staggering. When 38% of the population votes within the first 5 hours, it tells us that the silent majority is no longer silent in strategic cities like Győr, located near Slovak border. The tension is palpable. The city became a symbol of the struggle when Orban himself lost his composure during a recent rally, accusing protesters of pushing foreign interests. This is a classic tactic. The government has spent millions on posters claiming that a vote for the opposition is a vote for involvement in neighboring conflict. They're using fear as primary tool, telling the elderly and the rural pollution that Magyar will drag their children into the war, into the kinetic event. However, the economic reality is hitting harder than the propaganda. After 3 years of stagnation and soaring costs of living, many Hungarians parliamentarians are looking at the wealth oligarchs close to the government and asking where their future went. J.D. Vance visiting Budapest this week, his presence was a clear signal of support from the Trump camp from the United States, framing Orban as a strong and powerful leader. America is for Orban. On the other side, the European Union is holding its breath. If Orban loses, it removes the biggest internal obstacle to a 90 billion euro financial package for Kyiv. It would deprive the Kremlin of its closest partner in the bloc and fundamentally shift the balance of power in Europe. This is not just a local election, it's a high-stake geopolitical shift. No one wants Orban to win because Orban is the best friend of Putin. While the political drama unfolds in Budapest, the situation on the ground in East remains grimly predictable. We were promised to pause for the Orthodox Easter celebration. Vladimir Putin announced an unilateral ceasefire, cessation of activities, a move that was met with extreme skepticism. In Kiev, President Zelensky stated that his force would only respond symmetrically, calling for a genuine time of peace. But the reality on the Sunday morning report tells a different story. The Ukrainian military has documented over 2,200 violations since the truce was supposed to begin. At the same time, the Russian defense minister claims nearly 2,000 violations from the other side, from Ukrainian part. The terminology used by both sides is carefully chosen, but the impact on infrastructure and human lives is undeniable. In the northern Sumy region, which sits directly on the border, a drone hit a medical vehicle overnight. 3 medics were injured in what is being described as a rights violation and tragic incident. There was no missile strike, but the constant use of hardware in tactical drone makes the concept of a ceasefire feel like a dark irony. In the Pokrovsk area and the Dnipropetrovsk region, there were reported attempts at tactical shifts and the counter movements. The Russian side claims to have thwarted several advances, while the Ukrainian side maintains that they are merely holding their defensive positions. The only tangible sign of humanity amidst the escalation was the prisoner exchange. 175 individuals from each side were returned home finally. This includes 7 civilians from both nations. It's a rare movement, a successful logistic in a situation that's otherwise characterized by a total lack of trust. This exchange happened as peace negotiations have reached a complete standstill. The global attention has shifted toward the high-stake gamble in the Middle East, leaving the Eastern European threat in a state of exhausting attrition. Kyiv has been pushing for a comprehensive and lasting end to kinetic events, but Moscow insists on a strategic deal first. This creates a cycle of violence where temporary truces are used merely to reorganize hardware and defense systems. For the soldier in the trenches of Donetsk, the Easter ceasefire was never a reality they believed in. They see it as a strategic shift, a way for the opponent to test defense while the world is distracted. Now let's shift our focus to a completely different kind of return. In the middle of the California desert, a 32-year-old icon made a comeback that has divided the internet. Justin Bieber headlined Coachella, marking his first major live appearance in 4 years. But this wasn't the high-energy, choreographed spectacle we usually see from pop stars like Sabrina Carpenter, for example. Bieber spent a significant portion of his set sitting in front of a laptop, singing along to his old YouTube hits. It was the nostalgia-fueled journey that felt more like a private living room session than a stadium show. This choice was deeply intentional. By interacting with live comments on the stream and playing his original home videos from when he was 12, he was paying tribute to the platform that created him. However, there is a darker side to the stripped-back performance. We have to remember that Bieber canceled his world tour due to significant health issues. He struggled with facial paralysis, and the diagnosis of Ramsay-Hunt syndrome have clearly changed his relationship with the stage. He looked vulnerable, dressed in a simple hoodie, asking the crowd how far back they remember him. This performance is a perfect metaphor for our current global mood when the present feels too heavy with conflict and political instability. We retreat into the safety of the past. The industry knows that nostalgia is a powerful business strategy. Saint Bieber, a symbol of simpler digital era, helps people escape the harsh realities of the headlines we just discussed. It was a stark departure from the elaborate stage designed for his piece, focusing instead on a raw, almost fragile connection with the audience. As we look at results coming in from Hungary and the reports from the front lines, one thing becomes clear. While living through a period of intense transition, the old structures of power are being challenged by new faces, and the icons of our youth are returning to remind us of who we were before the world became so complicated. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think Peter Magyar can actually dismantle the system that Orban spent 16 years building? Text your comment down. And down, Justin Bieber return feel like a genuine comeback or just a temporary escape? The next few days will be decisive. If the race in Budapest remains close, we might not have a final result until next Saturday. We'll be there to analyze the outcome and what it means for the global strategic shift. Thank you so much for staying with me, for watching the videos, and for diving through these events of the historic Sunday. Remember, understanding the facts is the first step to navigating the future. Stay informed, stay sharp, stay cool, and see you in my next video. My name is Blondie. See you as soon as possible. My name is Blondie. Don't forget to hit the like button, and goodbye for now.